Hello guys, it's NautoAce here, and yet I'm also going to jump on the Ash Ketchum bandwagon. So for people who don't know what I'm talking about, is that the latest episode of Pokemon Sun and Moon in Japan, not in America, but in Japan, finally showed the grand finals of the Alola tournament. So it was technically it's Ash Ketchum versus Gladios. And a bit of a spoiler here, but people already talk about it. It was already trending on Twitter. So if you're still trying to avoid this, click back now. Click back now. So I'm going to give my 5-second warning spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2. And the spoiler is, finally, in 22 years, ever since the anime series started, Ash Ketchum finally won his very first Pokemon League. Number one. Is it a big deal? Well, if you've been following the anime, it kind of does. For people that don't really care, you'll understand why it's sort of a bit of a big deal here. Is it a big deal to me personally? A bit, because I did watch the anime since 1998. Oh man, I'm gonna explain about all that and why is it this and that, and my thoughts about him winning the Alola tournament. Oh my gosh, finally. Again, it's trending, for Never World, your Essence, Game Explained. They gave their thoughts about it. A lot of people did too. That's why I'm jumping the bandwagon here. So if you've been following the anime since 1998, then you know the history about Ash Ketchum. So, first of all, my thoughts about that, finally, awesome. It's going to be in a situation where an expression would be, my life is complete because Ash finally won a Pokemon League. So, my thoughts about that one is, finally, awesome. It needs change. The anime needs change. Alright, so that's my thoughts there really quick because it's the same as other people because I did follow the anime too. But I want to also give my thoughts on the whole history about the anime. Why there's even an anime, why this direction, why X, Y, and Z. So here's a bit of a history. When Pokemon first came in Japan in 1996 for the Game Boy in Japan, like I said, it was red and green. They changed it to blue, just color, senses. However, the game did not sell well, believe it or not. It did not sell well. So they needed some extra marketing to get more exposure about Pokemon. So they got an idea. They said, let's make an anime based on the game. Let's use this character that's based on the original red and green, Ash. That's why if you notice, Ash kind of looks like the main character in the Game Boy. The note there is, I'm going to say one thing. Yes, the anime is named Ash Ketchum or Satoshi. In the game itself, the Game Boy, that character there is by default, his name is Red. And there is a big significance about that, and I'll explain that later. So the anime, to some extent, has nothing to do with the game. There's no connection, there's no conspiracy. The whole point of the anime is to get exposure to the game, and the anime is a different direction telling of the Pokemon game. Instead of, step by step about the game, it's like, what about this particular person? Say he chose this option, Ash Ketchum, an underdog who his dream is to become the Pokemon Master, to be the best, the very best, well, for 22 years. So now, I want to give my thoughts on a lot of the tidbits of why X, Y, and Z. First of all, Ash Ketchum, you got to keep in mind, in the very first season, the Indigo arc, let's just say that, his design is based on Red from Game Boy version of Red, Green, and Blue. To some extent, Yellow. But Yellow is a special case, which is Yellow is actually an anime-based video game, which means it is still Red, but they're following the anime storyline with you team up with Pikachu and there's Team Rocket. It's kind of like a cross-promotion thing. That's what they're trying to do, but you know that. I mean, if you want to know a current version, let's go Pikachu, let's go Eevee, kind of follow that suit. Whatever. But, yeah, so Ash Ketchum is the original Red. And of course, if you follow Fire Red and Leaf Green, Red had a new overhaul, and he's now the new version Red, which in my personal opinion is a good idea. Now, going back to the anime, the Indigo arc, yes, so for people who followed, for people who didn't, spoiler, but come on, it's 22 years, is that yes, Ash lost in the Indigo Pokemon League. So people were shocked at first, like, oh, I thought it's going to be the very best. That's like, he'll be the very best, like no one ever was. And you suddenly surprised, like, oh no, he failed? What's going on there? And the reason behind of Ash's constant losing until the Alola region is it's not so much of the storytelling. I mean, to some extent, yeah, but it's also, sadly to say, to some extent, is the business side. And for a while, according to the director, he felt that in the Indigo arc, and this is from what I heard a long time ago, he had two choices: either let's make him a champion, and then let's introduce a new protagonist, probably Gold and Silver and Crystal, or I think that one they call it Jimmy, Chris, and I don't know what the other characters are. But the whole point is the main trainer for Gold and Silver. Or let's just bring Ash back, but start over with him again. And he noticed that a lot of people were like inclined to Ash. Like he was popular when the anime first started. So the idea behind it was, well, Ash is making the show rating. Let's bring him to the next region, Johto, and let's make him start over again and, get all 8 badges, join the Pokemon League. And he did. That was the choice. It's either a new main character or once again Ash. So they just chose Ash again. And then ever since, they keep doing that because according to the director, as long as Ash is getting the ratings and probably the money, we will continue using Ash, we will continue his journey, and we will continue his never giving up, never ending story of becoming a Pokemon master or winning a league because ratings and money. Sucks. I can understand the beginning, but after a while it's like, oh man, this is getting BS. By the time it was, I would say, between the Hoeen League and the Sinnoh League, in my personal opinion, I'm like, okay, this is just getting BS. Seriously, you're gonna do this? You're gonna keep doing this? And they keep doing it. They keep doing it in the Unova region. The biggest offender was in the Kalos region in the Pokemon X and Y series. Because a lot of people, when watching Ash, he has the best Pokemon. He even has a Ash Greninja versus Alan's Charizard. And the sad part here is Ash has a water type versus a fire type. Like, you're looking at them like, wait a minute, maybe Ash has an advantage. He's been doing this for a long time, and all of a sudden in the end, he's the runner-up. I'm like, oh, man. People got pissed. I'm like, for me, facepalm. Like, seriously, people, we're still gonna do it. And then by the time it was the Alola series, people, first of all, the art design, yeah, there's a lot of backstory about it from what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. Is that the previous people that they hired, I guess there were some conflicting problems to a point that they just said, let's just go to a different approach. New people, new approach, whatever. I mean, it's not that good, but they're probably trying new ways. I mean, look at the movies. Look at the new movie from 2018. It was a weird design. Of course, in 2019 with CG. Yeah, I mean, if you even notice, even the movie has nothing to do with the series anymore. It's like they're just doing their own thing. So people might think, oh, well, will Ash lose also in the Alola region? Thank goodness, like I said before, finally Ash Ketchum finally won his very first place trophy in a Pokemon League. Hey, better late than never, I guess. So finally, what does this mean? Why all of a sudden now the director or the direction of this one's going different? I think to some extent after 22 years, yeah, I think it's time for a restart or a new story, because doing the same story of, oh, I'm gonna be the very best like no one ever be, I think that's as the song goes, you know, it's getting too old. It's repetitive. So, yeah, finally he did it. He's number 1. Maybe it's a new thing. And remember, there's going to be an announcement about a new Pokemon anime that, yeah, there's going to be Galar Pokemon, but it's going to be in all the region. I don't know what it is. Supposed to be by the end of September, they're going to reveal what it is. And if I see that, I might give my opinion about that one. But yeah, finally, Ash finally won. First place. Everybody are happy. No more blue balling, but they did blue ball once. There was an episode against Ha, but yes, he's number 1. He's finally champion. He's a Pokemon master. Maybe, but it's done. The chapter is done. Maybe it'll be someone else. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, that's my thoughts of Ash finally being number 1. Yes, it's in a region that's not, I guess some people might like it, but mostly probably don't. The Alola region. But hey, you know what? Again, for Ash, 2 thumbs up. A lot of people talked about it. Veronica Taylor, the previous voice for Ash Ketchum. There you go. So with that, I'll see you guys later.